Law 1. Destiny is forged through action. Destiny is not mere fate to be passively suffered. It is a path seized and shaped by relentless action. All my life I have sacrificed everything, comfort, self-interest, happiness, to my destiny, he declared. This requires calculation, the exploitation of every accident, the seizing of every opportunity. Recognize that politics itself is fate, the modern stage upon which the tragedies of necessity unfold. Do not wait for destiny. Pursue it, calculate it, impose your will upon the chaos of events. Law 2. Master the levers of man, fear and self-interest. You do not know men, Napoleon observed. They are difficult to understand, often not even understanding themselves. Discard sentimentality. Know that men are moved by two levers only, fear and self-interest. Their virtues and vices are often born merely of circumstance. Understand their weaknesses, their vanities, their thirst for gain, their dread of loss. Appeal to these, guide these, for men rarely act from pure character, but from secret passion and perceived advantage. Master these levers, and you can move individuals and nations. Law 3. Power is a jealous mistress. Power is my mistress, Napoleon confessed. I have worked too hard at her conquest to allow anyone to take her away from me or even covet her. Understand that power demands absolute devotion and constant vigilance. It is maintained not by affection, but often by the fear it inspires. As soon as I cease to be feared, my empire is destroyed. Guard your power jealously. Project an aura of strength and inevitability. Hesitation invites challenge. Absolute authority maintains control. Law 4. Master the imagination of the masses. Imagination rules the world. Do not merely govern through force and law. Captivate the minds of men. Guide public opinion decisively. Do not condescend to debate it. Employ grand symbols, evocative language, and the power of spectacle. Link your destiny with national glory. Remind people of past triumphs and future possibilities. What the masses believe to be true becomes a potent political force. Shape their dreams, and you shape their actions. Law 5. Embrace tireless work, compartmentalize thought. Work is my element. I am born and built for it. Cultivate an infinite capacity for mental labor. Organize your mind like a chest of drawers. When dealing with one subject, close the drawers containing others. Concentrate fiercely on the task at hand, free from distraction. This allows for prolonged effort without fatigue. When rest is required, shut all drawers and sleep soundly, ready to resume work with renewed vigor. Energy and focus conquer all obstacles. Law 6. Value men by their position and utility. Men are like ciphers. They acquire their value merely from their position. Judge men not by their inner character, which is opaque, but by their actions and their utility to your cause. Be successful, and loyalty will follow. Learn to recognize and exploit the defects and talents of those you govern. Place men where they can be most useful, replace them when they cease to be. The art of governing involves choosing men well and enabling those chosen to attain their full worth for the state. Law 7. Strike swiftly, sustain the offensive. In war, as in seizing opportunity, boldness is key. Remaining behind fortified lines invites defeat. Once the offensive is chosen, sustain it to the last extremity. Calculation is crucial, but audacity often commands success. Concentrate your forces, strike at the decisive point, and overwhelm the enemy. Retreat is disastrous. Maintain momentum. Remember, war justifies everything when necessity commands. Law 8. Forge unity, impose a single will. Division breeds weakness and chaos. Whether governing a nation or commanding an army, strive for absolute unity. Replace petty factions, local privileges, and conflicting laws with a single, central will. Impose uniform codes, a unified administration, a shared identity. True strength and stability lie in concentration and the elimination of internal conflict. Napoleon used to say, "In France there is but a single party and a single will." Law 9. Wield religion as an instrument of order. See in religion not the mystery of the divine, but the mystery of the social order. It is the vaccine of the imagination, preserving it from dangerous absurdities. It associates an idea of equality with heaven, preventing the poor from massacring the rich. Recognize its power to ensure stability, inspire loyalty, and unify the state. Control the religious establishment, treat it with respect, use it as a political force, but never allow it independence from the state. The clergy's kingdom is not of this world. Law 10. Build a legacy in the minds of men. What is a great reputation? A big noise. Understand that true immortality lies only in the memory left in the minds of men. Cultivate glory through great deeds, decisive victories, enduring monuments, and foundational laws. Even a spectacular downfall can elevate a reputation to infinite heights. These are the facts that mere words cannot destroy. This memory, this noise, is the only echo across the abyss of time. Law 11. Discard illusions, embrace practical reality. In my youth, I had illusions. I got rid of them fast. Despise abstract systems and the hollow ideas of ideologists. Base your actions on the solid ground of experience and a cynical understanding of human nature, its fears, its interests, its weaknesses. The true wisdom of nations is found in history and practical application, not in utopian dreams. Calculation, circumstance, and a clear view of the possible should guide your hand. Law 12. Recognize necessity, yet shape your own star. Acknowledge the force of necessity, the weight of circumstances. I was not truly my own master, but was always ruled by circumstances. Yet within those constraints, act decisively. Believe in your star, cultivate an aura of destiny, exploit accidents, turn setbacks into opportunities. While fate provides the context, the great man imposes his will upon it, bending events through calculation, audacity, and an unwavering focus on the objective. Law 13. Mold history to serve the present. History is not a fixed record, but a narrative to be shaped. History I conquered rather than studied, Napoleon admitted. Recognize that historical truth is often an agreed-upon fiction. Do not merely learn from the past, actively interpret it, select from it, and present it in a light that illuminates your current objectives and justifies your actions. Spurn what is useless. Seize upon conclusions that please and serve the state. Commission histories guide the narrative, for the perception of the past powerfully influences the present and the future. Law 14. Place national interest above all else. My axiom is France before everything. Discard abstract notions of universal brotherhood or waging war purely for the sake of others. The primary duty of the ruler is the security, prosperity, and glory of his own nation. Alliances are temporary, geography is permanent. Subordinate all personal feelings, family ties, and even universal ideals to the calculated advantage of the state you lead. Its strength is your strength, its destiny, yours. Law 15. Understand the soldier's soul. The soldier is not a mere machine, but a reasonable being who must be understood and directed. Know his motivations. The French soldier, Napoleon observed, is intelligent, loves to argue, and is moved by honor above all. He requires discipline but responds to appeals to glory and courage. Understand his limits, his needs when idle, his indefatigable spirit in pursuit. Speak his language, respect his sacrifices, recognize his valor. Mastering the army requires mastering the unique psychology of the men who compose it. Law 16. Despise abstract theory, trust experience. Beware the shady metaphysics of ideologists and system mongers. These are hollow ideas. Detach from the complex reality of human nature and governance. Base your legislation and actions not on abstract first principles, but on a deep knowledge of human psychology and the concrete lessons of history. The true wisdom of the nations is experience. Practical application reveals the flaws in even the most elegant theories. Build on what works, not on what merely sounds logical in a salon. Law 17. Control the narrative, shape perception. Do not merely inspire, actively manage the flow of information. Utilize the press, bulletins, even rumors as instruments of state. Guide public opinion subtly. Do not allow it to form randomly or be swayed by hostile forces. Dictate the official version of events. suppress inconvenient truths, and amplify favorable narratives. Recognize that what people believe happened is often more potent than what actually occurred. He who controls the story holds significant power. Law 18. Be governed by circumstance, not fixed plans. I was not truly my own master, but was always ruled by circumstances. Acknowledge the power of unforeseen events. While grand projects are necessary, do not become rigidly attached to them. Be prepared to bend your policies to accord with the shape of reality as it unfolds. Apparent inconsistency is often the mark of a leader reacting intelligently to shifting conditions. Fixity leads to brittleness. Adaptability allows for survival and eventual triumph. Law 19. Distinguish the morality of the ruler from the man. Recognize that the actions required of a sovereign, acting as a collective entity for the state, differ from those permissible for a private individual guided only by personal feelings. Political necessity often commands actions that would be inexcusable in personal life. Do not confuse the heart of a sovereign, which must consider the broad consequences for the nation, with the sentiments of an ordinary man. Public welfare is the highest justice, overriding personal scruples when the state is at stake. Law 20. Recognize geography as the root of policy. The policies of all the powers are inherent in their geography. Understand the fundamental, enduring influence of terrain, borders, resources, and strategic location on a nation's interests and destiny. The configuration of a country shapes its vulnerabilities, its opportunities, its relationship with neighbors. Analyze the map relentlessly, for geographical realities underpin lasting political truths far more than fleeting alliances or ideologies. Law 21. Channel the inevitable revolution. Revolutions are like volcanic eruptions. They can be neither made nor stopped by mere will. They arise from deep societal shifts and accumulated grievances. Do not try to suppress the inevitable explosion. Instead, recognize its force and strive to guide its direction. Consolidate its positive principles, like equality of opportunity, discard its destructive excesses, like terror and anarchy, and impose order upon its chaos. The skillful leader channels the revolutionary fire rather than being consumed by it or trying vainly to extinguish it. Law 22. Impose uniformity to forge strength. A nation composed of disparate parts, varying laws, and local privileges is inherently weak. True national strength arises from uniformity. Erase petty internal borders and divisions. Institute a single, clear legal code applicable to all citizens. Standardize administration, weights, measures, even education. This creates cohesion, simplifies governance, eliminates sources of internal conflict, and allows the central power to operate efficiently across the entire state. From many parts, forge one indivisible whole. Law 23. Concentrate your forces at the decisive point. The fundamental secret of warfare is the concentration of strength. Whether possessing numerical superiority or inferiority overall, ensure you possess local superiority at the precise point of attack or defense. Avoid scattering your forces. Vulnerability invites defeat. Identify the enemy's critical weakness or the key strategic objective, and apply overwhelming force there, swiftly and decisively. This principle, applied consistently, overcomes disparate numbers and is the foundation of victory. Law 24. Master the moral factors in warfare. In war, moral factors account for 3/4 of success. Relative material strength accounts for only 1/4. Understand that the Army's spirit, its confidence, its belief in victory or fear of defeat, its perception of the commander's genius or luck, are often more decisive than numbers or equipment. Cultivate morale, project an aura of invincibility, inspire enthusiasm, use propaganda effectively. Conversely, undermine the enemy's confidence and exploit his fears. Victory is often won in the minds of the soldiers before it is confirmed on the field. Law 25. View allies and subordinates as instruments. Maintain alliances only as long as they serve your interests. Do not rely on sentiment or assumed loyalty, even from family members placed on thrones. They, like generals and ministers, are instruments to be employed for the benefit of your central policy. Judge them by their usefulness, their adherence to your system, Be prepared to discard or discipline them ruthlessly when they deviate or fail. Sentiment has no place in the calculus of power between states or between the ruler and his primary agents. Law 26. Never admit a mistake. In politics, admitting error fatally undermines authority. To retreat, to retrace steps, is to invite discredit and embolden opposition. If a course of action proves difficult or mistaken, persevere with increased resolve. Redefine the objective. Find new justifications. Push forward until events vindicate the action or create a new reality where the mistake is forgotten or irrelevant. Projecting unwavering confidence and infallibility is essential to maintaining control, especially when governing restless populations or facing determined enemies. Law 27. Govern efficiently, but avoid paternalism. Effective administration is crucial, but excessive governmental interference stifles initiative and breeds resentment. Establish clear laws and efficient structures, but allow private interest and individual action reasonable freedom within that framework. Do not attempt to manage every detail of citizens' lives or businesses. A government is in grave error if it wants to be too paternal. Provide order and security, enforce the law, but trust that individual enterprise within legal bounds is a powerful engine of prosperity. Law 28. Build enduring monuments, physical and legal. Secure your place in history not just through fleeting victories, but through lasting achievements that benefit generations. Undertake grand public works, roads, canals, harbors, monuments, that reshape the landscape and facilitate commerce and national pride. More importantly, establish enduring legal frameworks, like the Code Napoleon, that bring order, clarity, and uniformity, becoming woven into the very fabric of society long after your departure. These are the granite foundations upon which a lasting reputation is built. Law 29. Know thyself first, but judge others by actions. Men are difficult to understand. Do they know themselves? Napoleon mused. Recognize the profound difficulty of true self-knowledge and the equal opacity of others' inner lives. Do not trust surfaces or mere words. While introspection is necessary, understand that true character is often revealed only under pressure or by circumstance. Therefore, in navigating the world, judge yourself and others primarily by demonstrated actions and their results, not by claimed intentions or fleeting sentiments. Deeds form the only reliable currency. Law 30. Analyze your passions, lest they rule you. I always have loved to analyze, Napoleon stated, and if I ever fell seriously in love, I would take my love apart piece by piece. Approach your own emotions, ambition, love, anger, with a detached, analytical mind. Understand their origins, their mechanisms, their potential to cloud judgment. While passions provide drive, do not become their slave. Dissection brings understanding, and understanding allows for control. Master your inner world before attempting to master the outer. Law 31. Recognize that circumstance molds character. There are vices and virtues born of circumstance. Resist simplistic judgments of fixed character in yourself and others. Understand that context, fortune, hardship, and opportunity profoundly shape behavior. The person who seems loyal in success might defect in adversity. The seemingly modest individual might grasp power when offered. Recognize the fluidity of human nature under pressure. This understanding allows for both caution and trust and adaptability and expectation. Law 32. Seek happiness aligned with your innate nature. Happiness is merely the enjoyment of life in the manner that conforms best to our nature. Do not chase external definitions of success or pleasure that conflict with your fundamental disposition. Understand your core needs, talents, and limitations. True contentment arises not from achieving a universal standard, but from living authentically, expressing your inherent capacities, and finding enjoyment in activities that resonate with your deepest self. Self-knowledge is the prerequisite for genuine happiness. Law 33. Cultivate moral courage against fear and doubt. Physical bravery is common. True strength lies in moral courage, the ability to maintain clarity of mind, judgment, and decision-making power amidst sudden crises, uncertainty, or fear. Napoleon valued the courage of 2 a.m. This inner fortitude prevents panic, allows for calculated risks, and enables one to overcome obstacles that paralyze the fearful. Recognize fear's seat in the imagination and counter it with reason and unwavering resolve. Law 34. Learn the limits of patience, yours and others. If you wish to study men, learn how far their patience can stretch. This applies equally to yourself. Understand your own breaking points and threshold for enduring frustration or inaction. Observe keenly the patience of others, superiors, rivals, subordinates. Knowing when patience is about to expire can dictate the timing of requests, demands, or decisive actions. Pushing beyond these limits invites backlash or collapse. Law 35. Embrace your unique cast. Be a fragment of rock. A man cannot excel unless he is of a unique cast. I am a fragment of rock thrown into space. Recognize and cultivate your own distinct talents, perspectives, and destiny. Do not dilute your individuality merely to conform. Like a meteor, be prepared to burn brightly, consume perhaps in lighting up your era. True strength lies in this unique integrity, this resistance to being easily categorized or assimilated. Accept your distinct nature and act from that core. Law 36. Value solitude for reflection and clarity. Even amidst intense activity, recognize the power of solitude. Napoleon recalled finding clarity and deeper feeling when walking alone, away from the demands of state. Use moments of quiet to dream by myself, to analyze, to reconnect with core motivations. The earliest impressions of my life. The relentless demands of the world can obscure judgment. Strategic withdrawal into solitude allows for perspective, renewal, and the sharpening of thought before re-engaging with action. Law 37. Maintain justice within yourself when suffering. Those who suffer are unjust, what Napoleon observed. Recognize that personal pain, hardship, or misfortune distorts perception and judgment. Adversity can breed bitterness, irrationality, and unfairness towards others. Strive consciously to maintain objectivity and fairness even, and especially when enduring difficult times. Do not allow personal suffering to become a justification for inflicting injustice on the world around you. Law 38. See the miraculous in the mundane. The truth is that everything around us is miracle, Napoleon asserted, dismissing contrived marvels. Resist cynicism and the tendency to overlook the inherent wonder in the fundamental forces and objects of existence, the warmth of fire, the sustenance of the earth, the complexities of life itself. Cultivate a perspective that finds the profound in the ordinary. This outlook fosters appreciation and guards against the illusions peddled by charlatans who prey on a manufactured sense of wonder. Law 39. Respect the power of the decimal point. In calculation, whether military or personal, a decimal more or less may alter everything. Recognize that grand success often hinges on meticulous attention to detail. Overlooking seemingly minor factors, misjudging small variables, or neglecting thorough preparation can lead to catastrophic failure. Cultivate precision in thought and planning. Understand that even the smallest element, accurately accounted for, can be decisive. Law 40. Study history relentlessly. It is the only true philosophy. Dismiss abstract metaphysics. Ground your understanding in the concrete realities painted by history. History paints the human heart. It is the laboratory where principles are tested, patterns revealed, and the consequences of actions laid bare. Meditate upon the rise and fall of empires, the successes and failures of great figures, the recurring cycles of human behavior. This study provides the deepest insights into politics, strategy, and the unchanging nature of man. Law 41. Understand opposition, but do not be defined by it. Recognize that opposition is inevitable. Analyze its sources. Is it based on conflicting interests, differing principles, envy, or misunderstanding? Understand the arguments and motivations of those who oppose you. However, do not allow their criticism or hostility to dictate your actions or define your goals. Maintain your own course based on your calculations and objectives, adapting tactically but remaining strategically resolute. Law 42. Reject simplistic answers to complex problems. In political administration, no problem is ever simple. It can never be reduced to the question whether a certain measure is good or not. Beware the allure of easy solutions and binary thinking. Most significant challenges involve multiple, often conflicting, variables. Cultivate the ability to analyze complexity, weigh competing interests, and understand nuanced situations. Avoid reducing intricate problems to simplistic formulas. True understanding requires embracing complexity. Law 43. Focus your efforts on leaving a lasting trace. Everything on earth is soon forgotten, except the opinion we leave imprinted on history. Recognize the transience of immediate pains and pleasures. Direct your ambition and energy towards creating something of enduring value, whether in reputation, tangible works, or influence on ideas. Short-term comfort or gain is insignificant compared to the creation of a lasting legacy. Measure your actions by their potential to leave a meaningful trace beyond your own lifetime. Law 44. Continuously analyze the hidden springs of action. Go beyond simply recognizing fear and self-interest. Constantly seek to understand the specific passions, vanities, hidden motivations, and underlying character traits that drive individuals, including yourself. Why this fear? Why that ambition? Look for the momentary secret passion that overrides apparent character. Deep psychological insight allows for more accurate prediction, shrewder negotiation, and more effective influence. Law 45. Choose your engagements, conserve your energy. Just as a general avoids dispersing his forces, the individual must conserve mental and emotional energy. Do not engage in every potential conflict or argument. Prioritize your efforts, focusing on objectives that truly matter. Learn to ignore provocations, sidestep futile disputes, and strategically withdraw from battles not worth fighting. Conserving your strength for the decisive moment is crucial for long-term success. Law 46. Speak and think with directness. Shun empty rhetoric. 2 and 2 is 4. Value clarity and conciseness in thought and communication. Distrust excessive rhetoric, vague abstractions, and overly complex formulations. They often mask weak thinking or deceptive intent. Strive to grasp the core of an issue and express it directly. Plain, logical arguments grounded in facts carry more weight and lead to better decisions than flowery but empty phrases. Law 47. Trust felt truths where logic reaches its limit. While logic and calculation are essential, recognize their limitations, especially in the moral sciences. There are truths that feeling alone can demonstrate. Cultivate and trust your intuition, your inner feeling, your grasp of intangible factors like morale, timing, and psychological atmosphere. Sometimes the deepest truths about human situations are apprehended through feeling and experience rather than pure, demonstrable logic. Law 48. Moderate love. Let it be pleasure, not torment. Love should be a pleasure, not a torment. Approach attachments with a degree of pragmatism. While acknowledging its power, do not allow romantic passion to become an all-consuming, exclusive force that blinds you to other duties or realities. Seek relationships that bring support and enjoyment, not constant turmoil or debilitating obsession. Maintain control over your affections, ensuring they enhance, rather than derail, your life's broader trajectory. These principles, drawn from the crucible of revolution and empire, offer a glimpse into a mind that defied limits. Cynical, pragmatic, ambitious, yet capable of envisioning grand designs, Napoleon remains a figure of enduring fascination. His methods may be debated, his morality questioned, but the sheer force of his intellect and will continues to command attention, a testament to the enduring power concentrated in a single, extraordinary individual. As we all know, history is more than just dates and events. It's about the people who changed the world. Get their stories delivered straight to your inbox. Please consider subscribing to my newsletter or leaving a tip in the tip jar. The link is in the description. Your help is greatly appreciated.